It's a bountiful day in this hollow earth. A beautiful day for a hybrid. Do they shift shape? Boy, I feel great. Won't you be my cousin? Good morning, everybody, all throughout this holographic multiverse, and welcome to the most important meal of the day, y'all. Shrimp for breakfast! Yeah! It's Friday. We're hyped. We're feeling good. We are riding high on this tolerance break week, y'all. The first part of this week, taking a break from edibles and puffables and vapables and drinkables was a little rocky, and it was a little scatterbrained. The first couple videos this week, little kind of grinding the gears, trying to just get flowing. Is crazy. I really realize how much, weed is so important to my brain functioning in a high morale, positive, productive way. It's really wild. And, all the Ghostshrimp historians out there know the story that, I had a very hard time all through high school and my teenage years. And it was really getting connected with that plant intelligence that allowed me to unlock my full potential and the way my brain works. My parents tried to put me on different medications, and that just made me more confused and more fucked up. And I felt like I was being pulled this way and pulled that way. And I always felt like I was kind of wearing a mask. I mean, I'm literally wearing a mask now, but I always felt kind of like I was like inside my body, just like looking out. If I felt very detached when I was on medication. And if anybody's on antidepressants or, we were on like Zoloft, Prozac, Adderall, Ritalin, I don't even remember it all. So much stuff, right? Sure, some of y'all can relate, especially my ADHD peeps out there. And it wasn't until I found that cannabis plant intelligence and mixed that in with my brain that I really started to unlock my full potential and really feel like myself. It's a funny thing, but we all use things to feel like ourselves, and that is a key ingredient for me. So great to take a break just to kind of clear the deck, right? You do build up a lot of tolerance, and I think my tolerance this past year has been the most insane it's ever been because I grew so much and, consumed more than I ever have in that way. And then people are always sending me stuff. Shout out everybody sending me, edibles and drinkables and all that stuff. And don't let it stop you from getting a little cycling frog, right? I can't wait till Monday to jump back into this. I actually have a meeting with the Cycling Frog CEO today to talk about the future of our collaboration and partnership, which is very exciting. Always great to connect with people that share the same passions as you. So I can't wait for that. But taking this break has been great. It allows your brain to kind of get a little reset, allows your body to get a little reset, but it really reminds me just how beneficial this plant is. And I know it affects everybody differently. When Athena uses it, she's also very ADD. She doesn't have the hyperactive element to it, but she's very ADD. And when she imbibes, she just goes to sleep. And maybe that's where, maybe the H is what is the factor that, where the cannabis maybe is kind of a sedative effect. Maybe that H is the balancing factor where, my brain, what I noticed in the beginning of the week was, just focusing. I really felt like I'm in high school again when I do this. Like, I just cannot focus. Like, my brain is like, do. And then when I get in that cannabis plant mindset, it's like, boo, all that extra noise just fades away. And my focus is just like, I get laser focused and I get very clear on what I'm here to do. And all the distractions just fade away. They become completely irrelevant and completely unimportant. So the first half of this week, I was really battling through a lot of that. Just like all the information is coming in at the same volume, and it's and my thoughts are right. So I to compensate, I did some more meditation. I did some cool breathing exercises, which was really great. That can really put you in a very similar state of mind, which is really cool. But truly, the plant intelligence, this ancient plant that's been here long before humans and has had a very symbiotic relationship throughout our history and has come along for the journey with us and has been used in all of the ancient cultures as this very spiritual tool, that really is so important to my process, to my quality of life. Whereas if I didn't, I think I would be more stuck thinking about what kind of pills do I take, which are also just made from natural ingredients, right? Even when they're made in labs, they're made from natural compounds and all that stuff. So, but it is really that special bond, that I have with this plant. So if you have ADHD, give it a shot, especially if you're a creative person, right? The other great thing it does is that it puts you in a really divergent frame of mind. And I love living really submerged so deep in that convergent, in that divergent mindset. I always mix them up. So convergent is the thinking where it's very logical and straightforward. Things are coming together and you're going A to B to C and you're following steps. And divergent is going outwards and exploring and expanding and looking, like we talk about, getting lost and looking for those new breakthroughs and those new discoveries. Very adventurous mindset, right? So this year, as I've consumed more of the plant than ever before, I've been in the strongest, deepest flow state that I've ever been in by far. My work has come easier than ever before, just literally sitting down. And of course, I have lots of experience and it's all these habits and routines. It's a lot of things dialed in and, I'm getting better and better at it all the time. But it's really, truly this year has been just almost surreal how much the work has just flowed out of me, how much I've just been channeling, and how firmly and strongly I have been on this absolute beam of the dream life and the creative lifestyle and the absolute divergent mindset. It's funny because life demands, modern life demands that, unless you have a whole team around you doing all the convergent activities and all the day-to-day logistical stuff, you do need to dip in and out a bit. But the more I live in that completely divergent mindset, just the more, it is really just this it's really living in Hollow Earth. It's just literally going through the floor, going through the ground, and just living in this whole other realm that is built on creativity and flow state. As we talk about taking that elevator deep down into your subconscious brain where all the juicy stuff, that personal mythology, that deep nostalgia, that stuff that you are really made of, getting down in there. I have really just been dwelling down in there and it's been absolutely incredible. So can't wait till Monday. Can't wait to dive back in. The weekend's easy. It's funny, just going about my regular life is very easy without the plant, but getting into that creative zone is always, it came one and the same. When I started smoking, when I started using the plant every day is when I started to really lock in and understand my purpose in life, my path in life, and it really started to flow, right? And it was just the beginning. I was just a baby on that journey at that time. A young 17-year-old shrimp, sitting in a wheelchair, puffing on the ganj, hanging with my boy, Luke Dubois, Grant Zazula, Tyler Price, all the homies. But, as I've talked about, that creative squad, linking up with that creative squad, Jacob Hamby, Jacob Witzling out there, too many to name, but all the creative homies, banding together and lacing that plant intelligence through as this as this pathway and as the sharing, if you've ever gotten into the psych, it's like a, you know, obviously, you know, the plant is mildly psychedelic, it's psychoactive, and the more you take, the more psychedelic and psychoactive it gets. If you've ever been in that shared psychoactive state and you start to really mind meld, there really is magic happening there. So shout out to the best plant. Choo! All praise to the weed gods. Truly, I owe you my life. Right? So there we go. Get yourself some cycling frog, y'all. Get yourself some cycling frog. And boy, but yeah, feeling good. You know, definitely kind of, you know, the you know, some people may worry about, you know, what does being addicted to weed mean, blah, blah, blah. Well, we're all, you know, I mean, try getting off anything that you do. Try getting off coffee, try any of these things. Weed is the least complicated thing to get rid of. I mean, you know, it takes a couple days of kind of a little bit of brain fog. I call it like a sober haze, right? I was joking around in the description of the last video, battling through a sober haze. As you're kind of, you know, as your body is adjusting, it's not getting that, you know, same level of whatever the dopamine and stuff, that reaction that you're creating, you know, in your body. It's adjusting and kind of, you know, replenishing its natural supply of that and kind of giving it to you. And I felt that really kick in around yesterday. So that was good. But yeah, the weekend will be very easy, and I think today will be not too bad either. And then Monday is going to be glorious. We will jump on here Monday morning for a nice shrimp for breakfast and get lit. And I'm sure I will be flying high. So tune in for that one. Maybe you want to join me and get a little cannabis for breakfast, right? I know everybody doesn't have the lifestyle where they can just, you know, wake and bake every day, but it is truly my honor and privilege to be an ambassador for this plant. It is truly one of my purposes in life, and I always have been, and I always will be. Even though the algorithms don't like it. I wonder why the powers that be don't want everybody mind melding with this incredible plant. All right, so we got a great comment from a amazing workshop alumni. Shout out Benjamin Alcatraz. I always say Benjamin Alcatraz. I think that's not the exact pronunciation or spelling of his last name, but that's what I think of it as. Maybe it is. I don't know. I always have these like weird, odd, different versions of people's names, especially if they have a code name and a real name. I usually only use one and remember one. But on the, let's see, I think this was on the last one when I was talking about the workshop alumni Discord. I looked and I think there's actually about 78, or was it? Let's look right now, actually. All right, Discord, we're pulling it up. Get a little elevator music while we're waiting. I hope everybody enjoyed looking at those Midnight Gospel, that Midnight Gospel Viz Dev on my website. I got to post that up on the Instagram. So let's see. It says there are actually 88 alumni in the Discord. And there's maybe 100, and I can't remember the exact number of how many people have taken the Ghostshrimp Classic workshop throughout the years. There's been 14 rounds so far, and it started out being less people, and you know, now we do about 12 or 13 to fill out the group. And I think there's been about maybe 120-ish people, you know, little over 120 people that have taken the workshop, all told. I don't know why everybody isn't in there, because this is such a great resource, and I undersold it, not only in number, but in participation and intention here, because there is a lot of activity in this group. I'm not a real online person per se. I like to kind of not get too sucked into that. I've never been like a super online guy, but this group is, first of all, I think set up and run by Shiny Dog. So shout out Shiny Dog, who came to Ghost Fest this year. It was an absolute pleasure to meet this high morale individual and great workshop alumni. So shout out to Shiny Dog. And And they have been putting together a alumni zine, an alumni art zine that, of course, we will be promoting when it drops. So this isn't just a group of people talking and stuff. These cats are collaborating, y'all. So just another reason to jump into the Ghostshrimp Classic Workshop Round 15, which will be starting in the new year. I think it's either late January or early February. You know, dates are always kind of TBD. Once we get there, we look at what's going on and we kind of schedule it accordingly. So we will be doing that, but it's 10 weeks. It's 9 assignments. It is, if you do the work, you are absolutely guaranteed to have your mind blown, to have a whole new perspective on yourself, a whole new perspective on art and your place in the art world. And also just what you are going to do with your life, right? A whole new outlook on your life and what you want to achieve here, right? It's really more than about just your work. It's really about who you want to be. It's really about what you want to be doing. It's really about who you want to be around and where you want to be at, right? So it's really about living that. It's not just about having an art career. It's about having the dream art career, right? Nothing to me is sadder than someone who is a professional artist and doesn't enjoy what they do, right? Anytime you are taking money to do something that you wouldn't do if you weren't being paid for it, let's be real, you're selling out, right? And that's not a diss, it's just an accurate description of what you're doing. And as long as you have a vision of what you want to do and who you want to be, you can use those day jobs, those kind of, the pay the bills type of jobs within that plan as a tool to get to where you want to go, right? Money is a great necessary tool, but money is not a purpose. Money is not a goal. Money is not an end game, right? That is what you've been taught to believe by the brainwashing cult that is mainstream reality, that is the corporatocracy that we live in, that was carefully engineered by the people who are getting richer and richer every day off of your hard work, right? You are either working to fulfill your own dream life or you are being used to fulfill someone else's dream life, right? So don't sleep on the Ghostshrimp Classic Workshop, right? So let's circle back here. So at BNJMA, Benjamin, at BNJMNALCRZ, he said, big, in all caps, let's expand this, big shout outs to the cousins in the Discord. We're wrapping up a little collaborative zine. It's been a blast. Also, I've been curious, is the shrimp in the mug a real cooked shrimp or is it like a plastic prop? Well, that's for me to know and for you to find out, right? Tokar told me that it is a cooked shrimp and that I cook it every day when I wake up and I put it in there very carefully. So I like that. We're going to go with that. So that's one of life's great mysteries, y'all. And what about this one too? Do I cook this every day and stick it on there? You bet I do. La 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 la. So where are we at? Oh my God, let me tell you. Whew. I have been this week, one of the reasons that I wanted to take a little break was because of this crazy string of tumultuous events that have been going on. And I was like, I'm loving being in this divergent flow state right now, but I kind of got to come to the surface for a bit. The surface world is really demanding my attention in a way that I cannot fully address with my submerged divergent brain. So one of the reasons I wanted to come up here was kind of to come up and do a little convergent check-in and convergent problem solving. Sometimes the shrimp has to come ashore because it is a multi-habitat creature, right? The shrimp be flowing and in the deepest depths of the ocean, but the shrimp also runs up on land and comes and scavenges and climbs up the trees and fucking sip on a little coconut milk once in a while, we gotta run up in the cannabis patch and nibble on those juicy, tasty terps, if you know what I mean. So I've been up here and, really, like I said, Thursday, I really started to get that feeling of, convergence, kind of the divergence, kind of lifting and the convergence setting in. And, one of the things that I have been really thinking so much about, forever, for my whole life, since I was 17 and I started to get those plant intelligent breakthroughs and really, started to see that what I was being taught in school was a corporate training program and something that I completely was uninterested in, and that it was really brainwashing everybody around me. And as I looked up into the adult world, really seeing the product of that, of a lot of people, of almost everyone you'll meet. If you ask them, are you living the dream life? They go, no. And then you go, well, what is your dream life? And then they go, I'm not even really that sure of it. I might have a vague idea of it, but I actually don't really think a lot about it. And that always just made me so confused. I just never understood it. And I think it's just so strange. And I've always wanted to really find, to really be part of the solution here, right? To push back against it, to try to push back against that status quo, push back against these quote unquote normal, quote unquote, consensus reality that I think is really a false premise and really I wouldn't even say a myth, because myths are realer than real and truer than true. And boy, have I been diving into the Hollow Earth mythology these last couple of weeks and just getting so freaking hyped on it and so freaking hyped. I've sketched out, I think I've laid out the pencils on almost 40 of the 55 pages of the book already in the last couple of weeks. Of my new coloring book with Penguin Random House. So, oh my God, I am just in absolute bliss. And let me tell you guys, the dream life is very, very real. Don't believe what they tell you. I've been living it since I really got on that path, and it gets better and better every year. It gets more and more it gets easier every year. You get more and more breakthroughs, get more and more power, more and more confidence. And it's really the confidence that stops people from thinking that they can dive in and pull that off, right? They go, well, I look around and nobody around me is doing it, so I just don't really know, right? It's that sheep herd mentality, that safety in the pack. But guess what? You're not sheep. You're one of the apex predators on this damn planet, right? There's nothing that dominates and consumes as much as the human species does, at least in our realms of perception. So never buy that line that we are sheep and you need to stick together to be safe. There's nothing further from the truth. You could basically take everything that mainstream reality tells you and flip it and go the opposite direction, and you will find life making much more sense. You will find your intuition activating much more, your compass coming alive and really guiding you towards that daily practice of pursuing your purpose, because it is a daily practice. It's not a destination, right? They want to tell you that, just all you got to do is get a good job, which basically means the most money that you can get, and then do that till you're a senior citizen, and then we'll let you go, and then you can die, and then you can start all over again, right, with your kids, because you didn't tell your kids what life was really about, because you didn't even know, right? So I think so much about this, and this week I've really had some big breakthroughs, and I've been developing a short program, a short protocol. I don't know if it's like a boot camp or a workshop. I don't know what exactly it's going to be called, but basically it's like a Ghostshrimp Dream Life workshop, and it's going to be short and sweet. We've developed a lot of amazing protocols that are connected with the Ghostshrimp Classic workshop and the Magnum Dopus workshop that we've done. And through all that lived experience, through my lived experience of trial and error of pursuing the dream life for 21 plus years, even more, but as a professional, as an adult on my own, paying the bills with my passions and nothing but, which is very possible, we've really developed a great set of foolproof protocols that if you are willing to put in the work, you will be able to achieve your dream life, right? And for everybody, it's different. Everybody's goals are different. Everybody's circumstances are different, right? For some people, it's going to be easier. For some people, it's going to be harder, right? Depending on where you're at, all your resources available and that stuff. Some people are at different starting points, right? We all know that. But really specifically, I wanted to develop something for my siblings because they, time and time again, year after year, we have these conversations about the dream life and neither of them can answer those questions. And it just really breaks my heart. And it's one of the things that irks me more than anything. Wow, look at this. Look at these beams of fucking godly light coming through here as we talk about this. Is the camera picking that up? Oh, dude, the sun is literally shining upon me. The heavens are waking up. The hollow earth is opening and reflecting a beam off of the atmosphere directly at me as I tell you this. But this is how you know it's such a passion. This is specifically developed for my siblings and they don't know it yet, but I'm gonna spring it on them as my test group, as my beta testers. And I'm going to, and I mean, these really have already been worked through, right? These are the protocols that I use to continue, because the dream life isn't like, oh, I figured it out today and now I know, right? It's like, you get the vision of your purpose of what you want to do, but you still have to get up and pursue it every day. And it's changing all the time, right? Like I'm constantly adjusting. I'm constantly evolving. And as soon as you get too comfortable and you get complacent, it starts to kind of slip and then you got to re-up. And that's exactly what I try to do all the time, right? If you listen to me, you will constantly hear me talk about evolving and resetting and restarting and continuing to wake up every day with that world championship mindset of what do I do today to maintain that successful lifestyle, right? So these protocols are, have already been worked out, but I really want to make something on its own. I think it would be about 3 weekends over the course of 2 weeks. And it would run through all the protocols that we do in the workshop. It would start, let's see. I've written the basic outline of it down here, but it basically starts with, let's get this elevator music. All right, so the basic protocols that we would be running through, and I'm happy to tell you about it because I want everybody to do this. I want everybody to do it, and everybody would benefit from it. And if everybody followed this, it really could change the world, and the world is changing all the time. There's no reason why we can't pull this off, right? So the first thing to do, if you have no idea about what you want to do with your life, is make a list of 10 things that you absolutely love to do, things that you just do for fun, things that are your hobbies, things that you do in your free time. And the prerequisite to this is that you forget about money, you forget about responsibilities, you forget about everything. You really go back to a childlike frame of mind where you can daydream about what you love to do the most, right? This is insane. This is like a crazy haze that is happening here. Let's close it a little bit. Let's go. Can we get a little bit of it, but not that much? Oh my God. All right, we're gonna, oh my God. All right, there we go. So write a list of 10 things that you couldn't live without, that mean the most to you, right? That just make you happy in your core, that just delight you, that light you up, that make you feel joyful, right? Okay, so then you take those and you start to daydream and you start to imagine and you write what we think of as a dream life vision or a dopest life manifesto, right? We always kind of play with the wording of things to kind of, words can be traps or words can be like secret passageways that get you to where you want to go, like portals, right? Some people can get trapped with what they think of what words mean, or some people can be enlightened and go through a portal with what the words mean. So whichever one makes more sense to you. Dream life vision or dopest life manifesto, right? But basically you are dreaming about, if nothing mattered, what would your perfect life look like? What would that dream life look like on a weekly basis? What would you be doing, right? And you have this list of 10 things, and how do you build your week around those things, right? So that would be step 1. Step 2 is what we call the habits and routines video. And y'all have heard me talk about this year after year after year. And this is one of the most important things, and you do it all the time and you reset it. All of these things are meant to be done and redone and done and redone, right? There is no point at which these aren't useful to you, whether you are a kid or whether you are a senior citizen or whether you're middle-aged or everywhere in between. This applies to everybody. And that's the beauty of this. This isn't just for artists. My siblings are not artists. They are like regular, normal, corporate people, right? So the habits and routines video is, what 3 habits have I really been meaning to get rid of? What are my 3 least productive habits, right? The things that distract me from doing the things that I really love to do, that take up my space and time. And then the reverse of that, thinking of 3 productive habits that you've really been meaning, that you've been meaning to work in. The beauty of all this is the answers are already all inside you. You just have to go in and dig for them. Just like when we're talking about creatively digging for that personal mythology, and your whole career is already inside you and you just have to do the work of mining it and pulling it out. If you're a creative person, and I think everybody really is, all the jewels and gems that you need for your whole life are all in you. And you just need to continue to live and let them marinate and build up. And you just need to continue to mine them out. It is an unlimited sustainable resource if managed properly, right? So the habits and routines video, and then what we call what we think of as almost like a pie chart of your time. And this is all really speaking to the quality of life. And the first pie chart, it's a comparative pie chart. The first pie chart is, this is how your time is broken down now. Show us what your week looks like. Break it down in a pie chart of the time spent on doing certain things, right? And your job is probably going to take up most of your best hours, right? And this is the whole point of why that job needs to be passion-based for you to truly be fulfilled and happy. And the other pie chart is what you would like, that dream version, right? So comparing, idealism on its own is nothing, right? It's an illusion. But when you compare realism with idealism and they start to meet in the middle, that's where the rubber really hits the road. That's where that magical work gets done, right? And that's where most people get lost. Some people can imagine the ideal life, but as soon as they start to try to bring it into their daily reality, it smashes to bits, which is exactly what's supposed to happen. Because then you pick it all up and you put it all back together and it looks different than you thought, but that's where you start your work. And then you start like a Lego set to continue to evolve it and break it down and rebuild it and break it down and rebuild it. And that is the growth process. That is the evolutionary process. So all that is part 2. Right? So part 1, the 10 things list and the manifesto, and then you let that marinate over the course of a week, and then the second weekend, habits and routines video and the pie charts, right? And again, these are all things that we've implemented to great effect in the workshop. The people that actually do these things will tell you it has changed their life. It has changed their mindset, which is your life, right? Your life isn't out here. Your life is right between your ears. It is determined by your morale, by your confidence, and by your vision, right? By your belief in yourself. So there's the second weekend. The third weekend is the 3-year plan, starting to explore that rough draft of this 3-year vision, right? The first year is a monthly breakdown. January, February, March, April, right? Breaking it all down for the next year ahead. right? What are your goals? Reverse engineer them, right? This is what do I want to accomplish in a year? Break it down into 12 parts. Where's it going to fit in? How's it going to fit in? How can I manage it? If you reverse engineer it, it seems too little, you can add to it. You reverse engineer it, it seems like too much, then you pare it down, right? Simplify it. Simple and streamlined leads to success. The quickest path to failure is to overload yourself, right? And that's what mainstream reality tries to do. Overload you, make you overwhelmed, make it so your brain doesn't even really work, and then you just give up and give in, right? So the second year of the 3-year plan is a quarterly breakdown, 4 sections, right? The seasons, right? All the New Englanders know what I'm talking about. Your life in New England is divided into seasons because there are 4 distinct modes of life here, and you do different things in those modes, and you switch between the seasons, and you get very excited to do each thing in each season, right? So you start to look at it seasonally, because you're projected further out now, so it's a little bit further away. And also a way to sabotage yourself is to lock in things too much and not be able to evolve. This is a sketch, right? And just like when we're doing art, our sketch isn't our final piece, right? It's going to evolve. We're going to let go of things. We're going to add things. We're going to get lost in the process and find interesting discoveries along the way. Life is going to come in and fuck with your plans. That's what I love the thing. Humans plan and the gods laugh, right? But the great thing is you can also laugh right along with them, right? Have a great sense of humor about this and go, man, those gods really pulled the rug out from under me. I mean, they've really been pulling the rug out from under us for the last couple of months, but it's okay. I'm laughing at it because I'm adjusting and evolving. I'm not banging my head against the wall trying to keep going in the same direction, right? You're watching me evolve. You're watching me adapt. You're watching me make changes in order to these challenges and these obstacles in your path are meant for you to figure out the puzzle, right? Life is a grand puzzle. It's an ever-evolving puzzle. It's an ever-changing puzzle. There is no finished product. It is constantly changing, and you're constantly loving solving the puzzle. That is the process of life, right? When you hear someone say it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. That is absolutely true. That's the funny thing about all these tropes and cliches. All the answers are right there in plain sight, but they are just not really taken seriously and taught to you in a way that becomes useful to you, right? You hear them so much you become numb to them, but all the answers are actually right in front of you, right? So then that 3rd year of the 3-year plan is in 2 sections because even farther out, right? We used to do this insane thing. I talk about trial and error. We used to do this insane thing in the workshop where we would do a monthly breakdown of a 5-year plan, right? That is absolutely insane. That's like 60 months of, or whatever. Whatever, 5 times, 5 times 10 is 50, and then 5 times 2 is 10. So yeah, like 60 months. Projecting out that far, absolutely insane. So that's an example of getting too detailed with it and too much. It's good because it breaks your brain open and it makes you think so hard about stuff, but it's also like not even really useful at that point. So we have adapted it over time with trial and error, and the 3-year plan is really the sweet spot. So monthly breakdown year 1, quarterly breakdown year 2, biannual breakdown year 3, and then each year that passes, that plan slides forward, right? You can check in every week. Every day you wake up, you look at what, so every month you have that monthly plan ahead of you, right? So you can start to look and break it down. Every month you can break that into your weekly plans, right? And that you just do each week, right? And each day you kind of know what you're going to do, right? This is a plan A. And when it gets fucked up, right, you can audible, but at least if all things go right, if the universe wants to help me, this is my best laid plans. I know that they might not work, but I'm going to try to execute them. And if they don't, I'll come up with the next best plan, right? But the great thing about this is when those challenges come, you won't get discouraged, you won't get thrown off, you will just readjust. And when you're going through life making all those small subconscious decisions, do I eat this? Do I buy this? Do I want to do this with my time? Do I want to do that with my time? If this plan is in the back of your mind the whole time, you will make smarter decisions on a subconscious level as you're traveling through your life, right? So by combining this all together in a 3-week program, weekend 1, do the work, let it marinate. Weekend 2, do the work, let it marinate. Coming to that final weekend as we're wrapping it up, right? And now you have a basic rough framework. You've done so much thinking. Your brain is going to be exploded in the course of these 3 weeks, right? And again, this is for every single human on the planet. What is most exciting about this is that I couldn't run my siblings through the classic workshop because they don't want to spend that much time drawing. But if my siblings will oblige me, I will be able to help them through when we sit down and I go, what's your dream life? And they go, I don't know. And they go, I don't know what my intuition sounds like. I don't really know what I would do if I didn't have to earn money, right? This is how you answer those questions, right? So I am very excited to continue to develop this protocol and this program, and I will let you know when we're going to be signing up for it. And also the great thing about this program is, obviously I'm going to be spending time with it. So I'm going to be putting a price tag on it. And also when you pay for something is when you really invest in it and really do the work, right? So I've given you the framework. If you want to take this and run with it, go ahead. If you would like to sign up and run through this protocol with me, it's going to be 3 weeks, and I think it's going to be $300, right? About $100 a week. It will be the best $300 that you've ever spent. And again, this is, the other workshop is 10 weeks, $1,300. Much bigger time commitment, bigger monetary commitment. I know that that's not for everybody, but whether you're an artist, whether you're a creative person, whether you're a normie, whether you're whoever you are, whether you're a kid, whether you're a senior citizen, if you can't answer these questions for yourself, if you're not living your dream life, if you're not on that beam of your purpose and your passion and incredibly fulfilled every day, which is very realistic, which is not I don't want to use the word myth, right? Because mythology is super real, right? But it's not a false premise. Like everyone would have you believe the dream life is a false premise. That is the false premise, right? You have been tricked. You are in a trap. If you are working a job that you don't love, you are in a trap. And the way out of that trap is these protocols. They 100% work. I have used them. So many other people have used them. And if you look at the other kind of self-help programs, very similar, right? Now, this has been developed by me independently from that. I never looked into the self-help genre. I've never read self-help books or anything like that. After I've done the workshop and stuff, I've fucked with a little bit of, that stuff to like get some other ideas and stuff like that. But this is really developed completely organically, in my brain and tested through the Ghost Scouts, through the workshops, through the classic workshop, through the Magnum Doubles workshop. So, I still have to kind of marinate and think about this a little bit, but let me know if you are interested in this. And we will figure this out. I think we will either run this sometime between now and the end of the year, or maybe right at the beginning of the year in January before the classic online workshop starts, because that doesn't start till the end of January or the beginning of February. So couldn't be more excited about this, and I've always wanted to develop more workshops. I talked about developing a sketchbook workshop, which I have to revisit. Because my end goal to all this, or not my end goal, but my continued vision of all this is to really develop the Ghostshrimp Academy of Visual Arts and build it out and build it into a real learning institution and, something that is the antidote to the classical, brick and mortar a conventional school system, college system, however you want to look at it. So couldn't be more jazzed up, couldn't be more excited. Hope y'all are excited about this. And as you can see, I'm willing to just give it away for free as well. But when my time is spent doing it, I will need to, make some money doing that. Not that money is my goal, but money is a tool, right? And if I'm spending my time on it, that's time away from my family. That's time away from my passion of drawing at the desk. But this is also one of my most passionate things that I really am here to try to leave the world in better shape than it was when I arrived. And this is a way that I know how to do it. This is something that I am very confident that people will be able to use to great effect. These are what I like to think of as foolproof protocols, because we know who the biggest fool around is. And I live the absolute dream life every day of my life. For the last 21 years since I left my parents' house, I have been absolutely living the dream life. So 45 minutes on the video today, y'all. This is a record-breaking shrimp for breakfast. I hope you enjoyed it. We will see you Monday, where we will break fast. We will break the cannabis fast. We will break the tolerance, the whatever you want to say, and we will be getting lit AF. Let's do it together, y'all. I will see you Monday. Shrimp for breakfast, y'all. There you go. Pick up the book, The Lost Forest. If you appreciate what I'm kicking to you for absolutely free on this YouTube, The Lost Forest coloring book, pick up a few, give them to your friends. The holidays are coming up. No better gift than that. You know we got the dopest fucking merch in the game. You want to walk around repping the dream life. This is it, y'all. The Ghostshrimp mentality, the championship mentality is represented right here, right? This is it. Pick up the merch. We got hats, we got backpacks, we got pillows, we got frame prints, we got every Ghostshrimp vital and vital you need. Get them for your friends, get them for yourself. And if you want to get on a waiting list for this Dream Life boot camp protocol workshop, whatever we're gonna call it, 3 weeks, $300 is I think where we're gonna land for this one. Let me know. We'll get you on the waiting list. You can get into the first round of it. And if you want to sign up for the Ghostshrimp Classic Workshop, we got 5 people in there right now, which means we have up to 8 spots left. That's 4. We have up to 8 spots left, and it's going to be an absolute freaking banger. And maybe we'll even do a complete circuit where in January we do the Dream Life workshop, and then we go into the Ghostshrimp Classic workshop, and then we maybe in the springtime we will run instead of doing the next round of the Classic workshop, maybe we will run a Magnum Dopus workshop if we have enough people that want to get into the Magnum Dopus workshop. And so far the first 2 rounds were only for alumni, but maybe we will just open it up to everybody. And the idea of the Magnum Dopus workshop, where the Classic workshop is weekly assignments. It's 10 weeks, it's 9 assignments, 1 a week. Starts with creating strong personal work, personal mythology exploration, then taking that mentality into the commercial illustration sector, and then the last section of that is the visual development to production design, the animation stuff. My 3 absolute specialties, what I built my entire career on. So that's weekly assignments. And then the Magnum Dopus workshop is that same 10-week period, but it is working on your it's making your dream triptych. 3 pieces that are the largest scale you've ever done, that are the most detailed you've ever done, that are absolutely bubbling with personal mythology. So that is a real challenge. And the reason why we've had alumni do that is because they've already been through the Classic workshop. They've already at least got their feet wet with that weekly pace. And now they're ready to dive into the very deep waters of the Magnum Dopus. I mean, this is the middle of the goddamn ocean. This is the Marianas Trench. Right? But that is really where I'm at in my career, making large, incredibly detailed pieces. As we speak, I am wrapping up the Magic Puzzle Project, which is the largest and most detailed piece and most complicated piece I have ever done, the most complicated single piece I've ever done. So we are deep in Magnum Opus territory. So again, if people are interested in the Magnum Opus workshop, let me know. Again, we would need, that one can be maybe a little more intimate, but still, it's good to have about a dozen people in the group to really get that group camaraderie going. And I think with this Dream Life Protocol group, the 3-week workshop, I think we could have a larger group, more like almost like a traditional class type of size, like a 20, 30 person, to make it, really fill it out and really get so much energy and cross inspiration going, right? And really make it worth it for everybody. So I think that this is where we're headed, and I think it'd be really fun to kick the year off with that run of workshops. We would have never done a run like that before. It would be absolutely historic. It'd be so powerful. So if nobody's ever taken any of the workshops before and you are interested in tapping into all three, and really, this is really starting to look like a curriculum, y'all. The Ghostshrimp Academy of Visual Arts is really coming together here in a big way. If you are interested in getting in on all three, holler at me, and maybe we can even work out a combined discount rate and save a little bit of dough. And I mean, could you even imagine going through winter and spring with that much productivity? Your fucking head would explode. You would become Super Saiyan in a matter of months. I mean, that would be from January to, all the way, basically till summertime. So it'd be 6 months, right? It would be a 6-month run. We'd have to work some little breaks in there, but it'd be basically a 6-month run of absolutely insane productivity and breakthroughs like no other. I mean, I think that would be the most powerful series of classes on the planet, right? So bang, we're putting that out there. We are kicking it out to the honor of the art gods, to the honor of the gods of Ghost City, to the honor of the gods of the dream world and of the dream life, and we will see what happens. We will see what manifests, but I am very fucking hot to trot on this, and I am feeling very good. So there you go, a little shrimper breakfast for you, going on a fucking hour here. And yes, we are still working on bringing back the podcast. It is definitely happening. We were just talking to my man Luke Dubois about getting on an episode yesterday. Get those workouts in, get those habits and routines dialed in, and don't forget to stay hydrated, y'all. The most important ingredient to your water-based electrical conductive system is that hydration. Don't be down here, be up here, right? Bang! Shrimper breakfast. Eee!